Hi everyone, and welcome to this online devotional for Tuesday, May 12th. I appreciate you joining with me for this time, and as always, I'll just say again that you're in my prayers. I hope you're well as we continue on this very unusual journey that we've been on now for some weeks. I expect that you're all aware that this past Friday, the governor of Virginia announced the intended beginning date of Phase 1 for Virginia's return to business as usual. And this is the first of three proposed phases. The first loosening of current restrictions is planned for this coming Friday, May the 15th. And a word that we're hearing a lot connected to all this, the word that most people are using is the word reopening. And questions about reopening have been on everybody's mind at one level or another for some time now, and even more so in the last week or two. You know, reopening is in the news every day, and government officials are talking about it and planning for it. People are protesting in favor of reopening and not reopening. Medical experts are offering cautions and guidance about when and how reopening should happen. Business owners are deciding what to do. I expect that you too have been asking the reopening questions. It seems that for some people the answer is clear, and for other people the answer is not clear. But one thing's for sure, there seems to be no lack of opinion about it, if and when and how we should reopen. I want to take a moment today to talk about reopening, but not so much the reopening of our country or the economy or businesses or restaurants or even CPC. It seems to me that it's good to remember that we're still in the season of Easter. So I want to talk about reopening as an Easter question. I'm talking about the reopening of our eyes, the reopening of our hearts, the reopening of our lives. To talk about reopening within the framework of resurrection, of new life. I'm talking about reopening ourselves to something new, something different, maybe something unexpected. A reopening to life, the fullness of life, not just for ourselves, but for everybody. Now, to be sure, reopening is an economic issue, and it is a public health issue, and I'm not minimizing that. All I'm saying is that it's more than just that. To the extent that our lives have been put on hold for a time now, it would be good, I think, that this would be a good time to give some real thought and some prayer to the kind of life that we want to reopen to when the time comes. Because it's not just about quantity, it's not just about wealth or success or business or approval or popularity or security or being number one or any of the other things that we often think life is all about. Ponder the question of how many times you have gotten what you wanted, or you've been what other people said you should be, or you did what was encouraged and rewarded by society, only to discover that you still feel empty and poor inside. We're called to a different way of life. The life that you and I are called to, Jesus called it life abundant. He said that he came so that people could have life and have it abundantly. And an abundant life is a quality of life, not a quantity of stuff. It's about faith, and it's about hope, and it's about love. It's about goodness and mercy. The abundant life refuses to add pain to the world. As one person I was recently reading has put it, it is life that leads to life, love that leads to love, joy that leads to joy, and hope that leads to hope, courage that leads to courage, kindness that leads to kindness, generosity that leads to generosity, beauty that leads to beauty, forgiveness that leads to forgiveness, dignity that leads to dignity, and gratitude that leads to gratitude. The abundant life is what opens your heart to others. So as we grapple with this issue of reopening, let's approach it with the intention of not simply returning to business as usual, but as an opportunity to embrace an abundant life, a fresh start, like an Easter resurrection. To think of each day as a gift to be unwrapped, and each person a child of God to be loved. What would that look like? What would that mean? What would that look like and mean in your life today? Let's close now with a prayer. This is a prayer that was written by St. Augustine, who lived in the years 354 to 430. He was an early church leader and theologian. Please pray with me. O God, full of compassion, I commit and commend myself to you, in whom I am and live and know. Be the goal of my pilgrimage and my rest along the way. Let my soul take refuge from the crowding turmoil of worldly thought beneath the shadow of your wings. Let my heart, this sea of restless waves, find peace in you, O God. Amen. So I hope the rest of your week goes well. Please be in touch with us here at the church if there's anything that you need that we can be helpful with. Please keep all of our church community in prayer and the whole world as well. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.